Well, folks, it's been a long road, but we finally reached the end of the Yuna train. Before I go any further, I just want to say a big thank you to the translators and fans of this series. Thanks to their hard work and passion, we in the English-speaking world get to enjoy these wonderful, underrated series. Thank you so much. Now, without further ado, hey there, this is Megablade J, and this is my review of Galaxy Fraulein Yuna Final Edition. Galaxy Fraulein Yuna Final Edition is a combination of adventure, visual novel, and turn-based strategy game. It was made by Red Company and published by Hudson Soft for the PS1 on June of 1998. Red Company are the same developers who worked on the previous Yuna games, as well as Sakurai Wars for Sega. Final Edition is an enhanced version of Yuna 3 Lightning Angel for the Sega Saturn. This version includes better graphics and audio, as well as some extra content. The story starts off not too long after the events of the second anime OVA, so if you haven't seen that yet, there will be some spoilers. Trust me, watch them. They are a hell of a good time, especially if you love classic 80s or 90s anime.
I don't believe this! Why does Yuna get to sing at a concert in the Neo-Tokyo Dome while I have to play night watchman in a stupid high school instead of getting to do a cool concert where everyone can idolize me, the fabulous Mai?
Wait, what is that in the sky?
The secret technique has been discovered! Atmospheric re-entry really does make the perfect sunny side up!
If I'd known you wanted to use the most sophisticated fighting machine in the galaxy as an egg riddle, I might not have let you use it.
Don't be such a spoiled sport!
Just, bring some earplugs for the English singing. Okay, spoilers ahead. You have been warned. The story goes, after the battle with the Machine Sisters, Yuna is still mourning the loss of her new friend, when suddenly, Earth is once again attacked by a new threat. This time, it's the Machinate Empire, the ones who created the three Machine Sisters from the OVA. Seeing Yuna as a threat to their plans of universal conquest, the Empire plants a giant bomb on Earth. In a few hours, it will drill itself down to the center of the planet, blowing it and Yuna to smithereens. A bit overkill in my opinion, but that's anime villains for you. It's now up to Yuna and her extended group of friends and former foes to band together to defend the Earth, fight their way across the galaxy, and destroy the Machinate Empire. While the story is a bit darker than the last two games, overall, it was still pretty lighthearted. The story only had about one or two major plot points I didn't see coming, but it was still an enjoyable ride and gave the series a satisfying and proper ending. And while it did mainly focus on Yuna and the main cast, it was pretty cool that the bulk of the side characters got time in the spotlight to show off their unique personalities. Once again, Shiori is best girl. Plus, it was fun to see Yuna interact with her rogues gallery of friends and former villains one more time. Speaking of Yuna, she's the same happy-go-lucky girl as the first two games. And yes, she can still give Sailor Moon a run for her money in the airhead department. But her bubbly personality and desire to make peace with her foes still makes her a great protagonist to follow. I will admit, I wasn't sure how this would work as a strategy game, but it actually turned out pretty good. Thanks to the previous games and anime, there is a large number of colorful characters to play as. all of whom have their own unique attacks and abilities. The game basically plays like Sakura Wars, mainly because it's from the same developer. The game is split up between story and combat segments. The story segments plays very similar to the first two Yuna games. It's basically a visual novel with bright and colorful artwork. The story plays out, and you're sometimes given a choice. In the end, choices don't really affect the main storyline, but it does change a few boss encounters and which playable characters you can get. Because of this, you can't get the full roster of playable characters in one go. This was a little annoying, but it does increase the replay value a bit. In combat, Final Edition is a turn-based strategy RPG with an isometric view. You move your characters along the grid until you're within attack range. You then choose between an attack, special attack, or defending, then wait for your foe to take their turn. Each playable character starts off with only one or two special attacks, and have their own unique strengths and weaknesses. Shiori, for instance, is slow and has very low movement, but she has super high defense and can attack people from dang near across the battlefield. Just one more reason why she's best girl. As the game progresses and they level up, party members will gain a number of special abilities that will help you turn the tides of battle in your favor. These include long range and group attacks that can put foes to sleep or even paralyze them. My personal favorite, though, are attacks that can hit every single enemy on the screen at once. Unlike Sakura Wars, positioning is very important. Attacking your foes from the side or behind will increase the amount of damage done. This makes a major difference between doing decent damage and one-shotting enemies. But be warned, as enemies can do the same to you. One cool thing I liked about the battles was that each one introduced some kind of new gimmick that kept things interesting. One battle, you'll be avoiding elemental traps. In another, you'll be making a beeline to the boss to avoid endlessly respawning enemies. Each gimmick was unique, and it made each fight unpredictable and exciting to look forward to. Along the way, you'll find certain areas that act as training grounds. These can be used as grinding spots to help you level up your characters. I highly suggest you use them, as the game can get very difficult later on if you're underleveled. I personally never died once, but there were multiple times where if I had not have grinded, I imagine I would have been a smear on the floor. Also, there are a few scenarios where you're going to need to use dang near your entire roster of characters. So it's not a bad idea to keep everyone around the same level. Hidden throughout each stage is a card that shows a character from the Yuna series. These cards can be seen in your collection on the title screen. They're a cool collectible for long-term fans of the series and give newcomers some backstory for these characters. There is also a 2-player versus battle mode. I have no one to play with, so I never tried it myself. Not really the main draw, but a nice little extra for fans of the series. The graphics are pretty decent for a PS1 game. Nothing really fancy, but they do their job. The still pictures during cutscenes are bright and colorful, and there are a few anime sequences for important events. While in combat, the game uses 2D sprites. The sprites are basic, but special attacks can be pretty flashy and cool to look at. Just like the last two games, almost all the dialogue is voice acted. This emphasizes the characters' personalities and helps bring them to life. Once again, Shiori is best girl. The one major downside to this game is that it does suffer from surprisingly long load times. But this is a PS1 game, and the system was kind of known for that. As far as I'm aware, the Yuna series has been pretty quiet since this game's release. There was a game made for the PC FX called Galaxy Fraulein Yuna FX Siren Sadness. Looking up information for this, it's a little bit confusing, but from what I can tell, it seems like they took the cutscenes or certain scenes from the first anime OVA and turned them into a visual novel like the first two games. But honestly, it's a little confusing. The last time the series saw a re-release was a compilation for the PlayStation Portable. It had the first two games, as well as, I'm gonna say this name horribly, Genga Fuki Detsatsu Sapphire, a TurboGrafx shoot-'em-up made by the same studio. Yuna Final Edition was only released in Japan. There is, however, an English fan translation online. Once again, a big thank you to the translators. You all rock. If you want to own a copy, it's getting a bit on the pricey side. I've seen prices range from $72 for just the disc up to $180 to $200 online for a complete case and disc. On that note, the original version, Lightning Angel for the Sega Saturn, is way cheaper. It's going somewhere between $24 to $80 on eBay. All in all, I had a lot of fun playing Galaxy Fraulein Yuna Final Edition. It had a fun, turn-based strategy RPG battle system, an interesting storyline, and it was cool seeing all the past characters from the previous games and anime come together for one final adventure. If you're a fan of turn-based strategy games or the previous Yuna adventures, I highly recommend playing this game. Here's hoping that one day the Savior of Light will have one more chance to shine. This has been Megablade J. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe for more of my Let's Plays, reviews, and more of my horrible attempts at entertaining you all. Thanks for watching. See you all next mission.